Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping video. So this is for the week of June 2nd through the 8th, and I made my way back to San Diego this week, so that's why I'm using this kit called Theater from Cinderella Paper, because it has a ballet box. And the reason I was in San Diego was that two of my sisters were performing in their end of community center term ballet recital. And fun fact, they were dancing to the Vitamin String Quartet cover of My Chemical Romance's Helena. So when I learned that, I'm like, I feel like I need to be there. I was originally going to combine this kit, if you remember from my lineup for June, with leftovers from Girls Night Out, also from Cinderella Paper, but then I realized I had enough stickers to cover the week with just the stuff from the theater kit, so I just stuck with this one color palette. I did have to pull in some washi. That is really old. It's from Oh Hello, because I used up both washi stickers when I originally used this kit back in 2 years ago, because we all went to go, not we all, it was actually with these same two sisters in San Diego to go see Les Miserables. That was right before my life totally turned upside down with Clover getting sick, so that was a time. But yeah, I had just been in San Diego 3 weeks prior for one of my sister's college graduations, but that was when this topic of this dance recital came up, and I was like, I'm technically free, so I'm gonna try and be there. So that was the main focus of the weekend. Everyone kept asking me what else I wanted to do in San Diego while I was there. I'm like, well, I've been here before, actually several times. So I feel like I've covered most of the touristy things. I do someday want to go back to the San Diego Zoo, but that is a bit pricey, so I wasn't going to put that on anybody. So yeah, it was just a good hangout time with my sisters. It did make me a little sad that two of my sisters not permanently live in San Diego, but are living there now more long term, so I don't get to see them very much. And driving there is a lot, so I ended up flying this time, because after driving for the graduation, I'm like, I need to fly, because that drive is really brutal. And luckily for this trip, I had a bunch of Southwest points that I hadn't used, so that paid for almost my whole flight. I think I had to buy some points to cover the rest of it, but I don't remember spending that much. It was not a big dollar amount. But the flight between Sacramento and San Diego nowadays costs over $200, which I think is kind of ridiculous considering it's a 1 hour flight. And I was just curious because if you're new here, new as in you were not subscribed to this channel when I originally started it 10 years ago. Between 2014 and 2018, my husband and I were long distance. And I used to buy a plane ticket between here and Orange County, usually the Long Beach airport, which I recommend the Long Beach airport if you're going to that part of the world. Cute little airport, much less of a headache than LAX. And if you're going to be in the Long Beach area anyway, or in Orange County, go there. It's just better. And it's an adorable little airport. Although they've been redoing parts of it, which is actually nice. So it's a little bit bigger now, but it's better too. Anyway, tangent, but yeah, I would buy a plane ticket every other month, and I was just flipping back through one of my old planners, because I'm like, how much did I used to pay for an hour-long flight 10 years ago? Less than $225. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't that much less. I was still spending anywhere from 100 to 175 on JetBlue every other month, which is why if you knew me during that period, I really didn't travel anywhere during that time, because I was mostly going to go see my boyfriend, and then we would trade off, and every other month he would come up here. But yeah, so flights are definitely more expensive. I mean, you kind of have to anticipate that with 10 years worth of inflation, but it is kind of crazy how much a 1 hour plane ticket can cost nowadays. So I can't really do that all the time. So it's unfortunate, because having all of the sisters together this weekend was really nice. It felt really good. And we don't get to do that as much anymore. And it's just funny because I was living in Orange County from 2018 to the beginning of last year, 2024. And I didn't get to see the people in San Diego that much, just because my work schedule was crazy. They were in school. They were always coming and going from town because they were in school, right? So I really didn't see them that much, even when I was living down there. Plus, there were a few years before. It really wasn't till 2022 that either of them were there anyway. one of them wasn't even there until 2023. So like the overlap wasn't there, if you know what I mean. Anyway, now that I've rambled on about that, I had never flown into the San Diego airport until this weekend, or out of it. So that was interesting to see. It's a bit of a smaller airport, but it's like right in the middle of the city. So my sidebar, let's move on to that. I did use the weekend banner because I liked the pattern. The habit tracker is for vitamins, which I am so all over the place with taking vitamins, mostly because I'm like, I think I bought them in a moment of panic, and then like, and this is just like a multivitamin. We're not doing anything crazy. But then I'm sort of like, is this even worth it? So I don't know. And then the this week sticker and the weekly checklist are for my weekly dinners. And then I just put a half box in the sidebar to mark that this was technically the beginning of my summer break. So the last week before this, I had turned in grades, I think in the middle of the week. And then, so my summer break really started the week before, but this was like my first full week off. So that was nice. So Monday I was anxious after my doctor's appointment the Friday before, not for anything serious. I just had to follow up on some things and make some more appointments that I just didn't really want to do, but I know I needed to do that. So that's from Sweet Ava's Paper. I went ahead and set up my referral appointments and all of that. So that's from Beneva Creations, and then felt better about it. And then my goal during the summer is that during the week, I want to do some sort of physical activity at least 3 times a week. So I have chosen to do a lot more yoga recently. I don't know if it's really enough cardiovascular activity, but it feels good. And so I'm going to stick with that for now. So I'm just using these meditate stickers from Cinderella Paper to mark that because I didn't have any other workout stickers that really matched. Then I filmed a plan with me, so I used a summer planning sticker from Sweet Ava's Paper. Those 2 icons are so old, they're from Oh Hello Co, but they still stick to the paper, so we're going to use them, and they matched the kit. The first one is for marking the Boneheads podcast, and then the second one was for marking that my husband was working late because he had a community meeting. And then I watched Last Week Tonight on YouTube, so I have a news Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Tuesday, I marked updating my profile on one of the many job application websites that I am enrolled with for education. I also look for work during the summer. I just keep an eye out for like what else is available, especially like full-time work, since I am technically temporary part-time employed from semester to semester. If you don't know, it's complicated. It's really not that complicated. Well, no, it is kind of complicated because I have to work at multiple schools just to make a full-time income. So it's a little tricky. Then I did more yoga. Then I voiced over my plan with me. So I'm going to use a Sweet Ava's Paper sticker for that. I listened to more Boneheads. And then I was watching Conan Must Go on HBO because, which I'm just going to refer to it as HBO. I feel like I've been referring to it as HBO through their many name changes over the years because it's just the easiest way and it makes sense. Just call it HBO, the end. So yeah, we had HBO because my husband was watching The Last of Us, and I think we had it until like the end of this week or the end of the next week or something like that. So I was just watching stuff that was available on there because we'd already paid for it. So yeah, I was watching Conan Must Go, which was good if you like Conan O'Brien's humor. Then Wednesday, I'm going to mark playing hide and seek with Clover, who is my 2-year-old cat. I call her a kitten because she really just acts like a kitten. I think I've decided 1- and 2-year-old cats, like that's my favorite age. She's currently eating the rest of her lunch behind me. You probably can't hear that, but I can hear it. So yeah, we like to play hide and seek. She likes to play hide and seek a lot, and I find it fun too, where I am the person hiding and then she comes and finds me. So I'm going to mark that with a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I did a little mini workout, like push-ups, lunges, squats, all that fun stuff. So that is from Sweet Ava's Paper. Then I was just tidying up the house. I didn't really know how to mark that, so I just used a dishwasher sticker from Sweet Ava's Paper. I was feeling good this day, feeling a lot better than I had the days prior until around like 4 or 5 o'clock. So I'm noticing that like by the end of the afternoon, I start getting crappy again. But that script is from Carly Plans, the characters from Sweet Ava's Paper. And then I was just posting to my Instagram story. If you don't know, my Instagram is linked down below. I do not post that often to it. I mostly post to stories nowadays. But you can follow me there. It's planning.makes.perfect, which I'm thinking about changing my YouTube name to that because it annoys me that everything doesn't match. That's a holdover from like the Google Plus era, if you remember that. But yeah, I marked that with a Paper Shire sticker because I was just chatting about the perceived death of the planner community. And thank you for all of those of you who chatted with me about that. I don't feel as much of like the death of the planner community, and I still have a lot of interest in this hobby, although I am probably going to take a little bit of a break from filming it maybe soon just to prevent burnout. But yeah, I liked chatting with people about that. Obviously, there are plenty of you who know more about it than I do, especially from like a shop owner perspective or an artist perspective, people who make money in this hobby. I don't, so my opinions are, I still think, valid, but also like I'm not keeping the pulse on it as much, if that makes sense. So yeah, thanks for chatting with me about that. And then I just watched more Conan Must Go on HBO. Thursday, I marked my husband working from home. I did another mini workout. I filled out a job application for one of the local college's pools. So for adjunct positions, for temporary positions, they usually have pool applications open that they go to whenever they have staffing needs. So I needed to update that because there was a new one for the next academic year. So that cat is from Not Sweet Ovis Paper, Beneva Creations. So is the laundry sticker. The laundry script is from Bella Planella. And then also from Beneva Creations, I had to work on a letter for some financial stuff. Then my husband and I went on a walk when he was done with work or during his lunch break, either one. So both of those stickers are from the Prairie Planner. And then I entered my library's summer reading challenge and already qualified for a prize. Have I picked up the prize? No, because it involves having to go to the library. And for some reason, I just haven't done that. But I used a library card sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. for that. I need to sort out my library card with them because for some reason my husband was able to sign up online for a county library card and I was not. So I have to like go in and figure that out. I don't know what's up with that. Then I marked some reading with a sticker from Corks and Cords Co. And then I just watched YouTube at the end of the night. Friday, my husband worked from home again. I was anxious because I hadn't been on a plane since November of last year. And if you've been paying attention to global and national and local news, there's been a lot of plane mishaps the last like 6 months. So I was worried, but obviously I'm still here, so everything turned out fine. And logically, I was telling myself, hey, if I drove by myself, the statistics of me getting into some sort of horrible crash in the car are higher than the plane crashing. So that's how I talked myself down from that. I did pack, and then we went to a mixer at one of the local breweries just to connect with some community members. So that beer stein is from Beneva Creations. And then I use this Wonton in a Million sticker that says I'm getting Bunderlust, like Wanderlust, to mark watching Conan Without Borders, just because it is a travel show. It's a comedy travel show, but there's a lot of neat places on this planet and it kind of makes me want to visit them. Saturday, I left for San Diego, so I have a sticker party icon for that. My sister Anna Claire, who's my middle sister, picked me up and we went to her house and I think she made me coffee, so I marked it with a coffee icon, if I remember correctly. Then we got in the car a little bit later and visited our sister Jennifer, who's on the other side of town. So I used a Molly car sticker for that. And then both of my sisters were dog sitting this weekend. So I wanted to remember that because we spent a lot of time walking the dogs and I like walking, so that was cool. That first corgi is from Corks and Cords Co. The dog that Jennifer was watching was not a corgi, but she was a Pomsky. So kind of looked like this, but was black and white. And then the other dog that Anna Claire was watching was named Nausicaa. And she was like a husky German shepherd. So for a hot minute, I thought I wanted a dog this weekend. And then after a while, the dogs started getting really, really needy. And one of them was like really crazy. The Pomsky, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need a dog. But we walked both of them in the various neighborhoods that we're staying in, and then with Anna Claire, we made our way to a big park, really nice park in, I think it was La Jolla, that had a dinosaur-themed playground, and I got on the swing set and was swinging on it, even though I noticed multiple playgrounds we went to in San Diego had signs being like, this playground is designed for kids like under the age of 5. And I'm just like, there's nobody here. On this day, it was the middle of Saturday, and there were no children or families anywhere to be seen. I'm like, nobody's using this playground anyway. And I feel like it's because people are really gatekeeping around playgrounds. I would rather older kids be on the playground than like out doing other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm gonna use the swing set. It should be able to hold me. I don't know. That's my only rebellious thing I do like at all. If there's a swing set, I will be on the swing set. I just thought the signs were a bit much, especially as someone who, I'm the oldest in my family, so I was doing like quote unquote little kid stuff for a lot longer just because I have a lot of siblings and often I was like watching them. So I don't know, I'm not big on making kids grow up too fast. Moving on, we went back to Anna Claire's house and we're watching old episodes of Holiday Great British Bake Off, so I thought it would be funny to use this Christmas beach sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I took a nap. That's from Beneva Creations. And then later in the night, we got In and Out. So that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then we were just up late chatting because Jennifer came over, and that is from Sweet Ava's Paper. Sunday was the big day, the recital day. First thing that happened, so Jennifer took Anna Claire's car back to her house, I think. So it was just me and Anna Claire at her house, and all of her, she lives in this big house that's got all these like interconnected things with a billion roommates, so there's always somebody home. As an introvert, it's a lot. But she made me pancakes, so that was cute. So I used these cat pancake stickers from Sweet Ava's Paper. And then our youngest sister arrived. Christina was here. So she had been in a wedding in LA, like north of the city of LA, on Saturday. And she was going to make it, then drive back to San Diego Sunday morning so that she could come to the recital. And we're like, she is not going to make it here on time. There is no way, especially because we knew that it was going to be like a party the night before. But she walked in at literally exactly noon, which was so funny because that was the time she said she was going to be there. And it was noon on the dot when she walked in. So good for her. So then after that, we drove over to Jennifer's to go get ready. So we did that, and then we drove all the way over to Balboa Park, which is a place that I had been a long time ago when we went on a family vacation to San Diego, but I've been wanting to go back. I just haven't been able to. So it's right near the San Diego Zoo. So I used an elephant sticker because they have these elephant topiaries that were cute. Anna Claire and Jennifer had to go like rehearse or something, just get ready for the show. So they went and did that. Christina and I went to Cafe in the Park to get sandwiches. So I used a little picnic sticker for that. And then the San Diego Cactus and Succulent Society, something like that, was having a sale. So we decided to go check that out. And Christina bought a little cactus instead of flowers for Jennifer and Anna Claire. I ended up knocking over the cactus during the performance because we put it on our armrest between the chairs and it was dark in there. It fell on my foot. It kind of hurt, but everybody survived. And then you're seeing here that I'm finally putting in the ballet sticker from Sweet Ava's Paper for the recital. It was in the Casa del Prado Theater at Balboa Park. So their part of the show was very short. It was like a showcase among all of the different community center ballet classes, dance classes, etc. And then after that, we took a very long time to figure out where to go to dinner because I think all of us were just really tired. We ended up at some place called Sushi Deli 3. Why is it the third? I have no idea, but it was affordable and it was pretty decent. So I marked that with some sushi stickers from the sticker party. And then we went back to Jennifer's place. Anna Claire went back to her house, so she wasn't with us this night. She had to work the next day. And Jennifer and I were just up late chatting. Christina was so tired at this point that she pretty much just crashed. So it was quite funny. She just fell asleep across the end of the bed while Jennifer and I were chatting, and she didn't move from that spot, even though like we were talking and I was moving around when I eventually went to sleep. She didn't move from that spot until the next morning, so she was exhausted. So anyway, that is the end of this week, this very quick trip to San Diego. There's going to be one more day of San Diego shenanigans the next day in the next week, but that is all for now. I hope you enjoyed hearing about it. I hope you are doing well, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.